So to connect to the camera, we're going to use the Ultra VNC viewer. So we're going to make a VNC connection. I don't have a camera to do this with, so this part of it I'm just using a graphics editor, and I took some screenshots. So this is what you're going to need to look for as you do this from the computer's desktop. First thing is run the green icon for Ultra VNC viewer. That's going to pop up a connection window, and you can connect to the camera either by the camera's name, or you can connect using the camera's IP address. So you enter either the name or the IP address into the server list and click the connect button. It's going to disappear for a second, and then if it finds the camera, if everything's plugged in properly, you're going to get a message that comes up and asks for the password. So the password is typically controls, but I think there might be one of the two systems where I mixed up the passwords, and instead of it being controls, it's remote, kind of like remote controls. That's pretty clever. It's possible that the password is remote, and it's possible the password is controls. The catch is only one of those two will give you full access to the computer that you're connecting to. One of them will be view-only access. And honestly, I don't remember off the top of my head which is which. So if you connect using the wrong password and you can't control the computer with your mouse, disconnect, go through this process again, and use the other password. And that'll get you in there. Sometimes mistakes are made. All right, so connect. That's the important thing. Enter the password, hit log on. Once you log into the camera, you'll see this program expanded to the desktop. This is VBAI, and in the run mode at the top left corner, you see a little stop, little square button. If that one is highlighted or lit up, that means it's running. And you should see the picture of the what the camera took an image of last. We need to stop the program. So that's hit that little square at the top. Yeah, go ahead and stop. I want to stop the inspection. And this is going to then stop. Then in the inspection menu, go to switch to configuration interface. When the configuration window opens and the program loads, on the top right side is the block diagram. The block that we care about, or the step that we care about, the state rather, is inspect. So click on inspect. That brings up the individual steps down at the bottom. The fourth one over is the calibrate image. We want to calibrate the image or change the millimeters per pixel setting. So to do that, double click on calibrate image. That should open up the tool, which will pop up over here on the lower right. Any second now. There it is. So we want to edit the existing calibration. So that calibration is called 50mm lens, and click the edit button. That's going to pop up a new window, which is the calibration tool. I'm going to expand that a little bit so we can see it better. What this does is it defines 2 points, and then the operator user specifies the real world distance between those 2 points. So to get to that part, we have to hit next at the bottom right of that window, and then the second button here that says edit point distance parameters. there are 2 points defined. They are at the same height, so the Y position is 532 for both of these points. So the only variation is in X, and that is, let's see, X 937, and X for point 2, the X is 438. So they are 499 pixels apart, and the real world distance that was measured for this stack of discs was 22.5 millimeters. That value, that distance, that scale between the 499 pixels and the 22.5 millimeters is basically set and proportional to the distance between the stack and the camera. So if the camera were to get closer, the number of pixels would go up. If the camera was further away, the number of pixels would be smaller, because things would get smaller as they get further away. And since that scale is consistent to the mounting location, and the mounting location should not have changed, the distance, or the real world distance, probably isn't going to change much. Most likely don't want to change this real world value by more than 0.2 of a millimeter in either direction. So where it says 22.5 millimeters now, maybe it's a little bit bigger, but probably not more than 22.7, and maybe it's a little smaller, probably not less than 22.3. But that's where you need to take the measurements and find out for sure. After you alter the real world value, hit next, next again, and then you're back to the edit calibration. Click OK. That's going to save that. Click OK again at the bottom right to leave this tool set up, and save your program. So that is the little save icon, little floppy drive icon at the top corner. Still using floppy drive icons. It's 20 years old, but whatever. Save that, and the entire program saved. Then you need to go back to inspection interface. The inspection interface is going to load. It's going to reload the program, and the program is not running yet. You have to hit the little triangular play button, because this is apparently 1990 and we're using VCRs and floppy disks. So hit the play button, and now it's working. And then you can close VNC. Make sure you leave this program running and just close VNC out so that you're back to the main computer.